Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. Thank you for joining me. Today I've got a question from a gentleman named Rob, and Rob says, I've noticed many people are feeling a little anxious and even overwhelmed right now as they prepare for back to school, back to work, back to a different state of being busy. Perhaps how to address that is a timely topic. So first of all, thanks Rob for posing the question, and yes, and that's why I chose this question to address today, because it is everywhere. I've got 4 teenage boys, and so yes, it is in my house too. So I'm speaking from a place of knowledge, from my personal experience. So there are 3 things that I'm going to talk about. I like 3 is my favorite number. 3 is kind of easy to remember, and we seem to have this fascination with the number 3. So let's go with that. And I'm going to answer it around 3 words: connect, discover, respond. So one of the things that I've learned through my own experience, personal experience, as well as through coaching in corporate, coaching private clients, especially in our North American society, is wearing a busyness badge of honor. If you think about it for a second, when you ask others, how are you doing? When you run into them on the street or perhaps in the mall, or a friend that you've not seen in a while and you meet them at a social gathering, how are things going? The thing I consistently hear is, things are pretty good, but really busy. And so busyness is something that I think as a society, as a whole, is something that we have this morbid sort of fascination with. So in terms of like times in our lives where we are in transition, which during back to school period, back to work, and the changing of the seasons, it is a bit of a transitional period, and so that busyness gets amped up. So in terms of connect, what I'm encouraging you to do is to first connect with yourself. So this means you pause and take a breath. Because when we get stressed and overwhelmed, our heart rate goes up, our breathing gets shallow, our worry brain accelerates, and our ability to think and make good decisions plummets. So when we pause and when we take a few deep breaths, it does the opposite of those things. It slows our mind, slows our heart rate, and it allows blood to go to the part of the brain that can actually think. So the second thing then, once you've sort of connected with yourself and connected with your body, is to discover some options. So I want you to ask yourself, what has to get done? And what am I choosing to get done? Going back to this busyness badge of honor that we have in our society, we're often caught up in doing things on our to-do list to either check them off the list, doing them because we think we're supposed to be doing it to keep up with the Joneses, or doing it just because it's an expectation and we don't even know where it came from. I was speaking with a colleague the other day, and he was starting to talk about how he is not looking forward to the fall because he has to put his kid into competitive hockey. So we talked about it for a little while, and I said, why do you have to put him in competitive hockey? And he said, well, because he asked me to and he's good at it. I said, well, what kind of impact is that going to have on your family? And is that something you actually want to choose to do? He said, I didn't even think about it being a choice. My point here is whether he chooses to do it or he doesn't, we do have a choice. There are some things we don't have a choice over. Helping our kids with their homework, we may enjoy, we may not enjoy, we have to do it. Other things like competitive hockey, putting our kids in all the things, those are choices. So bucket things. What am I choosing to do and what do I have to do? So let's discover your options at step 2 and step 3, then respond. We typically just jump to this instead of connecting with self and discovering options. We've got this respond bit down pat. Take aligned action now. But now that you've got the connection and you've got your options, you can choose the best path forward.